Hands up, hands up. Выше, выше, выше. Выше. Хорошо. Выше руки. Hands up.
Khabib Nurmagomedov slammed Islam Makhachev's training, claiming he's not working hard enough ahead of UFC 311 rematch with Arman Tsarukyan.
Go! Go! Pass, 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 you pass! Nice, daddy! Display!
Khabib Nurmagomedov is known for his relentless work ethic and no-nonsense approach to training, and he isn't afraid to bring his tough love to the table, especially when it comes to his prized pupil, Islam Makhachev.
Who cares? You tired or not? Nobody cares about you. If you come here, don't complain. You want to become best. You want to become champion. If you don't want, halas. Go back to Dagestan. Without you or with you, there is always gonna be champions. With your name, this is your choice. You wanna put your name there? Okay, work hard. No? Bye-bye. Very simple. Nothing special.
Despite Islam's growing reputation as one of the most dominant fighters in the UFC's lightweight division, Khabib isn't shy about pointing out when he thinks his star is falling short. Recently, during a training camp in preparation for Makhachev's highly anticipated rematch against Arman Tsarukyan at UFC 311, Khabib openly expressed his dissatisfaction with Islam's performance, even though Makhachev had clearly put in the work. In a candid moment captured in a video shared on social media, Makhachev, sporting a few bumps and bruises from a tough week of sparring, asked Khabib how he felt about the team's efforts. To Makhachev's surprise, Khabib gave him a score of just 4 out of 5, a rating that didn't sit well with the UFC lightweight champion. Islam, clearly expecting more praise for his grueling efforts, was left disappointed by the relatively harsh assessment. However, Khabib made it clear that he wasn't happy with Islam's approach to his training schedule, particularly highlighting the issue of rest.
Короче, эту неделю нормально отпахали. Вот даже результат налицо. Тренера спросим.
Доволен ли я или нет?
Да.
Честно?
Да.
Сколько?
4.
In response to Makhachev's question about whether taking a break on Wednesday night was acceptable, Khabib's reply was blunt and firm. He told Islam that rest should be reserved for Sunday and Saturday evenings only. While Khabib's approach may seem harsh to some, it's clear that it's all part of a larger plan to ensure Makhachev stays focused and prepared for the challenge ahead. Khabib has been instrumental in shaping Makhachev into the fighter he is today, and despite his success, Khabib doesn't let Islam rest on his laurels. For Khabib, it's all about pushing his fighters to be the best, no matter how much success they've already achieved.
А что надо сделать, чтобы 5 получить?
Брат, в среду вечером отдохнули?
Да.
Ну,
Нельзя было?
нет, конечно.
Ой.
Отдыхаем воскресенье и суббота вечер, и все.
Makhachev himself has always spoken highly of Khabib's influence on his career. In a recent interview, he acknowledged that while he's always prepared for his fights with a number of strategies in mind, he also relies on Khabib to help adjust the game plan on the fly. Makhachev knows that if things aren't going as planned, Khabib will be there to offer advice and make the necessary changes.
Coach Khabib has lost his damn mind, and he does not understand like fatigue when he doesn't do everything, and this guy is crazy out here.
Brother,
Is this guy really crazy?
You have to come to the camp because, you know, this guy pressure, like, push us crazy. And, no, we have all this sparring, couple grappling rounds, couple wrestling rounds, and that's it. We finish all training. But when we finish all these things, he beginning do, like, some other exercise too much. I think
This guy
I think
crazy.
he's never training hard like that.
Islam is clearly not underestimating Tsarukyan, a fighter with a strong wrestling background and a point to prove after their first encounter. Tsarukyan, who stepped in on short notice to fight Makhachev in 2019, gave the champion a tough challenge despite his lack of preparation time. Now, with more experience under his belt and a full training camp to prepare, Tsarukyan presents a formidable challenge. Makhachev is well aware of this and is taking his opponent seriously, ready to employ a range of strategies to ensure he comes out on top.
Arman Tsarukyan. He's fighting Charles Oliveira. What did you think? How much improvement has this man made that you guys fought the first time?
Of course he improved. He have more experience, but same skills, you know. He beat the oldest guy because they don't have wrestling. But when someone have good wrestling skills, he always have trouble. With Gamrot, with me, and it's gonna be again. He have good wrestling skill, but if somebody defends, he have trouble.
While Makhachev has been working hard to refine his wrestling, Khabib has been an integral part of his training camp, helping to fine-tune the champion's already exceptional grappling. However, Khabib's presence doesn't come without its challenges. When Khabib joins the training camp, things intensify significantly. According to Makhachev, when Khabib is around, the pace of training goes into overdrive, with wrestling drills taking center stage. The focus is sharp, the intensity high, and there is no room for slack. For Makhachev, this means pushing his body to its limits, as he knows Khabib won't tolerate anything less.
Do you think Khabib will let you rest? You said that he keeps working you too hard, man.
He asked me, you have some injury? I said, I don't feel nothing right now. I think he gonna push me from tomorrow, you know.
I'm going to get you some time off.
He asked me how many days for the rest I have.
How many days can he have for rest?
No, he deserves 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
We got you a little holiday, yeah?
Maximum
And
2
then
weeks.
back in.
Middle of December, you have to be at gym. For sure. If you wanna become pound for pound. If you wanna just be on champion, okay, come back gym.
Makhachev's confidence heading into his rematch with Tsarukyan is bolstered by the strength of his team and the expertise of his coach. Makhachev's gym, known for producing top-tier talent, has become one of the most respected training facilities in the world. While Khabib is often at the center of Makhachev's preparations, he also relies on the support of other coaches, such as Javier Mendez, who has trained several other notable fighters, including Khabib himself. Mendez, who has full confidence in Makhachev's abilities, believes that Tsarukyan will present a challenge, but Makhachev's all-around skills, particularly his grappling and striking, will be more than enough to secure the victory.
Do you foresee that rematch looking very different than that first fight?
I definitely foresee the fight being different, but I just don't know to what areas is going to be different. You know, it's going to be what he's going to give us that we're going to take. Because, you know, Islam, like I've said many a times, we can switch him from round to round, minute to minute, second to second, and how he fights. So Khabib and I would just have to assess what Arman comes to the table, and we'll have to see what we need to do adjust, you know, and if we can implement our game plan. And it could be the ground or it could be stand-up, doesn't matter, because Islam can do it all.
As the highly anticipated rematch between Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan approaches, a range of opinions continue to surface. While acknowledging Makhachev's superior skills, Austin Bashi believes Tsarukyan, with more preparation and experience, could expose flaws in the champion's game and pull off an upset. Reflecting on their first encounter, Bashi remembers how Tsarukyan, at just 22 years old and stepping in on short notice, still managed to give Makhachev a tough fight, suggesting that Tsarukyan's growth since then could make a difference this time around.
You know, I got Arman actually in that one. The first time they fought, Arman, I believe, was like only 22 years old and gave him a real good run. But this time around, I think he could pull it out.
However, Paul Craig, who has an intimate understanding of Makhachev's grappling prowess, confidently backs the champion. He believes Makhachev's mastery in wrestling and ground control is unmatched in MMA and will be too overwhelming for Tsarukyan. Craig's emphasis is on Makhachev's nearly flawless grappling, which he views as the key to securing victory.
I don't think there's anybody going to dethrone these Dagestanis. I think they're just their style is beautiful, and I do believe that it's going to go one way, and there's going to be the champ's going to stay the champ.
Similarly, Brendan Schaub offers a critical lens on Makhachev's pound-for-pound ranking, pointing out the importance of strength of schedule, but still sees Makhachev as the favorite due to his overall skill set.
Now, when it comes to pound for pound in your division, I look at strength of schedule. I look at who have you beat, how have you beat them. Islam's strength of schedule, when we're talking about, if you look at the pound for pound list, the top 5 has by far the easiest strength of schedule. He's not my pound for pound number 1. I'll be very clear. Not my king, not bend the knee, dude. Refute, cut my head off. Cut my head off. Not hating on Islam. I know you guys are gonna run with that. I'm not doing that. I'm not hating on him. There's nothing he can do about it. It's not his fault. He fights whoever's in front of him. But for his management, whoever's telling this, dude, let's jump to 70.
Brandon Gibson also highlights Makhachev's growth and ability to adapt, particularly referencing his victory over Dustin Poirier as a testament to his championship mentality. He believes Makhachev's grappling will be pivotal in the rematch, and that Tsarukyan, though a worthy opponent, might not have the experience to match Makhachev's versatility.
I think Islam is rightfully the favorite. He's racking up that championship experience. You know, in the bout with Poirier showed his championship character, like being able to really dig down deep in those later rounds, despite the cut, despite being wobbled. I think Islam's really growing as a champion, and I think we won't see such a close rematch between those two. I think Islam shows domination and showcases his grappling once again.
Supporting Makhachev's rise, Chase Hooper believes the champion has improved since their first fight and that his elite wrestling will be a key factor in the rematch. He sees Makhachev as the fighter to beat, with his title-winning experience playing a significant role in the upcoming clash.
I'm taking Islam. I mean, it was kind of close in the first fight, but it's one of those things where people always say, like, you get 10% better after you get the belt. And I mean, how are you gonna bet against, like, put cash down against a Dagestani wrestler? Like, I think that's the smart money.
Similarly, Joaquin Buckley remains open to the possibility of an upset, noting that while Makhachev is dominant, Tsarukyan's hunger and improvements could make this a closer contest than many expect.
I don't think anybody got anybody number, to be honest with you. So, you know, we'll see what Arman has changed up and what he would do different, you know, in this fight, in the second one that's coming up. But, you know, for me, I think Islam is just, you know, just a dominant champion right now. So I would just, you know, pick, you know, Islam just because. But, you know, you never know. You know, especially when you got somebody that's hungry and determined to become a world champion themselves.
Yusuf Zalal leans toward Makhachev, believing that despite Tsarukyan presenting a stylistic challenge, Makhachev's overall skill set will prevail. Zalal points to the common comparisons between Makhachev's victory over Oliveira and Tsarukyan's performance against the same opponent. While both were impressive, Zalal notes that different styles present unique challenges. Ultimately, he believes Makhachev's grappling and striking will be too much for Tsarukyan to handle over the course of the fight.
I'm definitely gonna go with my boy Islam, but I have a thing. I think that's the toughest stylistically matchup for Islam. I do believe that. People saying, oh, he fought him on short notice, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, you should see what Arman is doing. And they're comparing, like, oh, look at what Islam did to Oliveira and then Arman to Oliveira. I was like, in this game, styles make matchups. It doesn't matter how good you are, but some styles are just not your kryptonite. So I think it's going to be a really strong matchup, but I'm definitely going with my boy Islam.
Billy Quarantillo shares the sentiment that Makhachev will win, but he suggests that Tsarukyan's performance in their first fight may have been helped by the short notice, which disrupted Makhachev's preparations. With a full training camp this time and the expertise of Khabib Nurmagomedov and Makhachev's camp behind him, Quarantillo is confident that Makhachev will be even more prepared and retain his title.
Man, that's going to be an exciting fight. I think, you know, Arman took that last one on short notice, but I still think Islam's going to get it done. I just feel like he's on a different level than Arman, and I think, you know, Arman taking that on short notice actually kind of helped him because I think it kind of threw Islam off a little bit. Now that he's going to have a full training camp with Khabib and with all those guys that are in his camp.
While acknowledging the talents of both fighters, Joshua Van finds the matchup difficult to predict. He highlights Makhachev's continuous growth and improvement, which has helped him rise to the top. Van gives Tsarukyan credit for his solid performance against Oliveira, but ultimately believes the fight is too close to call with certainty.
Ooh, that's going to be a great fight. You know, Islam is getting better at each fight, you know, and the guy that you just mentioned, he's very good too. His last fight against Oliveira, right? Yeah. That was a great fight too. So I think this is like a 50-50 fight.
Terrence McKinney also favors Makhachev, citing the size advantage as a major factor. McKinney believes that Makhachev's physicality will give him the upper hand in most scrambles, and that Tsarukyan will struggle to match his strength and conditioning over 5 rounds. Though he recognizes that this could be one of Makhachev's toughest title defenses, McKinney still expects the champion's size, strength, and experience to see him through.
I like what Arman brings as threat on the feet, but I think Islam will, just because of his height, will be able to win most of the scrambles. think he was a bigger person just in general. And I think 5 rounds dealing with a person with that much muscle, I think Islam shows why he's champ still. But this will probably be his toughest title fight.
Beneil Dariush is firmly in Makhachev's corner, but acknowledges that Tsarukyan could pose some problem. Dariush points out that Makhachev tends to slow down in the later rounds, but he also notes that Tsarukyan slowed down even more in their first encounter. Dariush believes that for Tsarukyan to have a chance, he would need to secure an early victory before Makhachev can impose his dominance. Still, Dariush favors Makhachev due to his superior skill and established dominance in the division.
So I think Islam's gonna win, and the reason why I think that is because you know, Islam slows down in his fights. What I'm saying is nothing new. Everybody knows that. But when they fought, Arman actually slowed down more than Islam. So I think that tells you that that's a big advantage. Because in my opinion, if Arman wins, he would have to win early against Makhachev.
Charles Oliveira offers a more balanced view, acknowledging that both Makhachev and Tsarukyan share similar styles, with strong wrestling and striking abilities. However, Oliveira slightly favors Makhachev, believing the champion holds a marginal advantage in strength and technique. While recognizing Tsarukyan's potential to win, Oliveira feels Makhachev's experience and slight advantages in certain areas will ultimately lead him to victory.
I'm very flattered about the fact that they use me as a comparison for the fights, but I think Islam is ahead because of the people that he fought. I think the competition that he's had. I mean, he's fought some really tough people. I've said this. I think that they're really tough fighters. I think that Islam is ahead by a little bit, just a tad, but I do believe that the one that's more mentally and physically ready on that day comes out with the win.
Jamal Hill sees Makhachev as the favorite due to his immense strength, conditioning, and well-rounded skills. While acknowledging Tsarukyan's talent and promising game plan, Hill believes Makhachev's consistent performances against top competition solidify his status as the pound-for-pound best fighter. Hill feels that Makhachev's champion status and continued growth make him the favorite in the rematch.
I've seen Islam. He's been out here the last couple of days. He looks big. He looks strong. He's been working. But Arman's been putting together. I believe it's an interesting fight. It can go either way, you know. And I just can't wait to see it.
Islam's the favorite. Do you think he should be the favorite in the fight?
Yes, 100%. He should be the favorite. He's a pound-for-pound best fighter in the world right now, and his performances have left not much room to doubt him, you know. So yeah, he should be the favorite, but at the end of the day, it's a fight.
Alex Hernandez views Tsarukyan as Makhachev's most competitive opponent, but still leans toward Makhachev. Hernandez praises Tsarukyan's versatility and toughness, but believes Makhachev's all-around game is on another level. He points to Makhachev's improvements in striking, grappling, and footwork as key factors that make it hard for anyone, including Tsarukyan, to defeat him. Hernandez stresses that if anyone can dethrone Makhachev, it would be Tsarukyan if he executes his game plan perfectly. Nevertheless, Hernandez believes Makhachev holds the advantage in nearly every aspect of the fight.
You know, Arman's his most competitive fight. The dude's an absolute monster, so they're both, you know, they're both so tough. I'm gonna lean towards the champ, Islam, but yeah, Arman's a beat, so these guys work cut out for him. If Arman doesn't do it, who I think would be among the most competitive, yeah, I don't really see who beats him, right? Yeah, like who else? Yeah, I think that's why it's such an exciting fight, because they're kind of similar in their versatility, but I think Islam's continue to improve all around and on his feet, and tactically they've got, you know, a real brilliant team. Yeah. And so it's hard to see him losing.
Having faced Makhachev at UFC 302, Dustin Poirier believes the champion's striking will be a major factor in the upcoming rematch. Poirier points out Makhachev's crisp boxing, which has significantly improved in recent years and could give him an edge over Tsarukyan if the fight remains standing. In addition, Poirier emphasizes Makhachev's grappling as a key weapon, one that Tsarukyan will struggle to defend against. For Poirier, it's the combination of Makhachev's striking and grappling that makes him the clear favorite in this matchup.
I think Islam's striking has really evolved. I think he's made leaps and bounds with the striking. Arman's going to have a tough time taking him down, so I think the fight will be on the feet until Islam decides to take him down. I just think Islam's striking is a little bit more crisp. His boxing is a little bit more crisp right now. So if it stays on the feet, I'm going Islam. Obviously, the grappling, probably Islam, so that's who I would pick.
Similarly, Michael Chandler is unequivocal in his assessment, predicting an easy win for Makhachev. He acknowledges Tsarukyan's skills, but believes Makhachev's all-around game is simply on another level. Chandler's confidence in Makhachev's dominance is evident, and he expects Tsarukyan to face a tough night against one of the best fighters in the world.
Arman obviously beat Oliveira last fight. Arman has been charging forward. I think right now I will be surprised if Arman pulls it off. I think Islam has continued to solidify himself as the best lightweight in the world by far with his performances. And I have no problem saying that. His hands are getting better. He just outstruck Poirier. He can outgrapple anybody. And I think he truly is doing it for more than just the punches, kicks, knees, and elbows and being the UFC champ and the glitz and glam. He's got something deeper that he's fighting for. He's fighting for an entire village, an entire portion of the country, an entire religion, and an entire legacy for himself and also Khabib and Khabib's father. So it's something special. It's a beautiful story.
Curtis Blades shares a similar view, citing Makhachev's experience as a major advantage. Blades highlights the champion's proven ability to handle tough competition over the years, believing that Tsarukyan would need to pull off something extraordinary to overcome Makhachev's superior skill set. He sees Makhachev as a fighter who can adapt and find a way to win, regardless of the challenges that arise.
I'm gonna go with Islam. He's already shown he's got the fortitude. Not to say Arman hasn't, but I guess Islam, he's done it against harder guys. He's already shown me he can do it. So I guess Arman would have to prove me wrong. So yeah, I'll go with Islam.
With the rematch rapidly approaching, the question remains, will Makhachev's relentless training and growth be enough to overcome the challenge posed by Tsarukyan, or will the underdog rise to the occasion and pull off a shocking upset? Fans and analysts alike are eagerly awaiting the answer, making UFC 311 one of the most highly anticipated events in recent memory. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.